Haven't I tube? Today, I just want to talk a little bit about breastfeeding. And to get right into it, I just want to say that, first of all, when it comes to breastfeeding, there's nothing really unique or special, um, or there's nothing to be romanticized. Hmm, is she? There's nothing to be romanticized when it comes to breastfeeding. And what I mean by that is, I notice when it comes to a lot of things, not just breastfeeding, but as it pertains to breastfeeding, because of the culture of the world and just the majority of people on earth today, because of a certain mind state or mind frame from where in which we have gotten away from doing things naturally and doing things how our bodies are designed to do things, and how nature is meant to flow. There has even come with that, there has come this other mentality to kind of counter that one. Now, what do I mean? Still, when it comes to breastfeeding, right, because of the world, the society, the culture of the world, the Western world, where breastfeeding is something that's not even normal anymore. You can even look, there has been like a what's it called? Formula, baby formula shortage or recalls and stuff like that. The uproar that came from that, you can see that breastfeeding is not even normal anymore. Women are having so many different complications or excuses or just different reasons as to why breastfeeding isn't practiced or it just isn't being done. And it's to the point where when you do have women breastfeeding, they're doing it in a way where they're trying to decolonize. And when you're trying to decolonize, you begin to romanticize. You begin to make it like it's something that's so unique, something that's so special, and it's something that no other mammal does. Or we begin to kind of, want to re-empower ourselves after being disempowered. But there's nothing wrong with that, but we just have to be mindful to not get too big-headed, because we aren't special because we breastfeed. We're animals. We're mammals. We're supposed to do that. So I just wanted to start with that. And then my next point that I wanted to say is, or next point that I want to make when it comes to breastfeeding is, I've also noticed that even with the women who are breastfeeding, aside from the romanticization, there's also this thing of making it okay or acceptable to say things like, I want my body back, when it comes to breastfeeding your children. And then it comes this thing of wanting, because you want your body back, you prematurely even wean your child off of the breast. And this is problematic. It can be very problematic because, first of all, I stand firm that when breastfeeding, anytime we have different type of challenges with feeling like we want our bodies back and feeling like we can't do things, that's coming from a very selfish place, and that's coming from a place that's clear indication of the mental disorderly thinking processes that we have as women and even as humans today on earth. Because just think about it, that's very selfish in the first place. And what makes it selfish? What makes it selfish is just a simple fact that our bodies are not our bodies to begin with. They're not. An animal's body is not really that animal's body. That other species, that other being, that body is not really its body. It's working for something else. It's working for a bigger, larger, more greater will, another reason, a higher purpose that really has nothing to do with that specific being itself as an individual. And I feel like, or I know that as humans, we've gotten so deep into our own self, into our own flesh, that we kind of, like, it's hard to get out of it, when we begin to say things like, well, I want my body back, when that's not your body anyway. It's not your body. Your breast, the milk that comes through it, you're not drinking that. You're literally not drinking it. You're not feeding yourself from your breast. It's literally there to feed another being. Literally. So it's not yours anyway. You are nothing but a vessel, a conduit. You're being used to fulfill another will, to fulfill a higher purpose. That is what you are doing. That is what we are meant to do. That is why we're here. We're here to serve. Literally, it's in our anatomy. It's in our anatomy. So to say something like that, I want my body back, and to take that thought as far as I'm weaning, and I'm so happy to wean because I'm wanting my body, it's very selfish. And we aren't naturally selfish people, or we aren't naturally selfish beings. Nothing in nature is naturally selfish. Everything is selfless, or we have more of a true understanding of what self is, who self is, and what the self represents, and who and what the self is truly working for. So when it comes to breastfeeding and this whole idea of weaning and getting your body back, I think is very important. This to me is a clear, again, representation of us needing community, because when we are surrounded by our own people, other mammals who know that they're mammals and accept that they're mammals, and we're all of the same spirit, we literally won't have those same challenges. And even if we get those different thoughts and things, because we all grew up in the world, we all grew up in the same Western society, so even if we're together and we have that challenge, it won't be as powerful, and it won't be as enticing to fall into. It'll be more simple to just let it flow, and then we can get rid of it and rise above it, because we're all of the same spirit. We're holding the same spirit, and the current of that is just so strong that nothing like that can even really penetrate. That is why community and things, tribes, culture is important. It's so important. And I personally do not resonate and do not promote. I'm not a part of this new culture of saying it's okay if you feel like you want your body back, and it's okay if you feel like you want to wean your child because you feel like you want your body back. It is okay that you feel that way, but you have to understand why you feel that way. And then we also have to understand that because of how deep we have been into that program, something like that, those programs and those thoughts can literally have such a charge to it that it can begin to affect our bodies. So because you already so deep into the program, you have that feeling or that thought that you want your body back, your body will literally begin to give you cues that maybe it's time to wean your child and get your child off of your breast. You will begin to have aversions. And yeah, it's a lot, but I think with awareness and, again, community and just having that understanding, things Like, it doesn't have to be that way. So, yeah, we just have to remember that we can literally find more pleasure in breastfeeding. We can find more pleasure in allowing our bodies to not just be for our pleasure, because that's also a thing that I hear, like, that's my body. My body is for my pleasure. And it is, but you have to also understand, before it's your pleasure, it's for a higher purpose, something that's bigger than you and your personal desires and your personal wants and personal needs is bigger than that. And this isn't coming from a colonized mind state, mind frame. You know, it's literally just nature. And it's God's will, the highest I will, the highest will. Issue. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say as it pertains to breastfeeding and being mothers. We can find so much pleasure and beauty in it, because there's a lot of pleasure and beauty and joy that's present if we just get out of the way and clear our mind, clear our whatever notions that we have been programmed to see, or that we've programmed ourselves to see. Because, yeah. So, until next time, I bye, I too.